Okay people, today let's take a quick look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Captain America Brave New World Deluxe Figure Wave, consisting of Red Hulk, Falcon, and of course, Captain America. And is this what I'm going to call it, the Deluxe Figure Wave? Because they're all deluxe packaging, they're all deluxe pricing, and I found them all at the same time. So it's a wave to me. Now, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't feeling the hype for the new movie. So when I saw these at Target today, I thought, you know what? Take them home, put them in the MCU display. Because it's adding 2 new MCU characters to that display, to the universe. Well, okay, Joaquin was in Falcon and Winter Soldier, or Captain America and Bucky, but Red Hulk is new to the universe. And as much as I like Sam in the white costume, the blue's growing on me, so I had to get it. Looking at the packages, like I said, they are deluxe. They have Marvel Legends up at the top. Down at the bottom, they have the logo for the movie and each of the names. Then, of course, there's windows to show the figures. On the side, there's artwork for each character, and spoiler alert, it's on the other side too. On the back, there's bigger pictures of each of those artworks, along with a bio of each character. So if you want to read those, go ahead and pause them as I scroll across and keep on talking for just a little bit longer. On top, Falcon has a Falcon logo, Captain America has the shield, and Hulk has nothing. Then on the bottom, there's legalese barcodes. Let's start this off with Hulk. And this is definitely Red Hulk. It's a big hulking figure that's red. Now, when this was announced, I could have sworn it was going to be reuse of the Build-A-Figure in-game Hulk, but now that I have them side by side, that is not true. They're similar because they're both Hulks, but Red Hulk is a bit larger, a bit more defined, just bulkier overall. He's wider, he's thicker, he's got more vein work going on, larger hands, larger feet, and you know what that means. That means the pants even had to be resculpted, you dirty birdies. Less texture overall, there's no button, there's no fly, there's no tears down at the legs. And again, just larger overall. Plus, they've removed the pins at the knees and the elbows. Well, I say removed, they just sculpted this figure and didn't put pins in those places. So, broader chest, and you can see how much more Red Hulk tapers here under the arm. And putting them side by side, you can see that Red Hulk is taller. Makes me want to redone early Hulk, the big, brutish, bulky one. What I gathered just from appearance, Red Hulk retains some intellect, but he allows himself to get angry. Bruce is too smart to get that angry anymore at this point. Ross, he still lets his emotions go. At least that's the feeling I get looking at the figure. Because it's still a mass of muscle, just nicely sculpted all over the place, and I will never not like chest hair. That just adds a bit of realism to something that is really unrealistic. We've been looking at this stuff all our lives, so it's kind of second nature to go, yeah, he's gamma irradiated. Of course he's gonna get big and stuff, but to most people, they need that tie, that tether, and I'm a fan of that kind of stuff. I said the pants are plain, and these were probably built to grow with Ross as he hulked out. So there's no tears, there's no buttons. It's probably unstable molecules or something like that. But they're not plain. They have wrinkles, they have a texture to them. They're pants. They look okay. The anatomy is sculpted in super nice, but I wish there was a little more paint, like at the toenails and maybe the fingernails, because while I don't remember that detail from the trailers, I just wish there was something extra there just to bring them out. Maybe some highlights on the skin to pop the muscles. There does seem to be a dark wash to some of the striations in the muscles, but it is very, very faint. Barely enough to notice and not enough to make a difference. But then we get up to the head, and I really like this as a Red Hulk, but I think of this as like comic book Red Hulk. This is not really what I remember from the trailers. I don't think there's a lick of Harrison Ford in this likeness. Don't get me wrong, it's a good sculpt, and I like the paint. The eyes are punched in nice. There's some shadow around it coming down into the cheeks, the eyebrows, the teeth. The hair has that flowing back motion to it, but I'm not seeing Ford. I think it needs something. Yeah, a little piece of foam and we are good to go. That completes the look. Well, maybe I need some big aviators too, but I didn't have those. I only had foam. What could have been? Going over articulation, there's a dumbbell joint at the neck. Can look up a bit, can look slightly down. Not bad tilt for a big bulky guy.
Captain America, Where?
Pin coming out to the shoulder rotates all the way around with a hinge that goes up to there. Swivel at the bicep. Double elbow goes up to there. There's just too much mass. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Dumbbell joint mid-torso crunches just a little. There's more back. Does have some tilt side to side along with some rotation here and some rotation at the waist. Ball joint at the hip kicks up to here, kicks back, kicks out. Swivel at the thigh, and I did notice just now that this kicks out a little bit. It looks like it's not quite fitted. On this side, it's smooth. The silhouette isn't broken, but if you look right there, see it? Tow. Double knee, the bottom does most of the bending here. It gets to there, and then the top joint is tough as shit. It goes one click. Seems like there's rotation at the pants line, but it only goes this far. I think that's a shaped peg under there. Hinge at the ankle goes way back, goes way forward, and then front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories out of the package, Red Hulk comes with two 10-stub almost gripping hands, and this Marvel Legends, those are easily removable, which allows you to swap in two fists. Also out of the package is this angry head, the furrowed brow, the teeth showing, but you can remove that, and you can pop on the calmer head. And this is the biggest reason I think there's some intellect retained whenever he transforms, just because. But he can also go straight to Angry Hulker. And hey, since it's just a little poster tag holding the mustache on, I can transfer that over to here too.
Did somebody say party?
Oh man. Oh, reviews are getting out of hand. Next up, we'll take a look at Falcon. Okay, the new Falcon, I don't know much about this character, either from the movies or the comics. I just know that I really like this color scheme. It's a bit vulture-ish with the browns and the greens and the wings, but hey, it works. The armor plates make me think military, but then up here is sci-fi futuristic MCU-ish with the aerodynamic helmet. I love that you can see his face through the visor. Around the perimeter of it, where it's touching the helmet, it's almost neon. And that carries up over the top with some stripes and then some painted on greens that match the shoulder pads, and then up onto the shoulders, but then you get to the chest and this very ethereal looking light green. At first I thought that was a translucent material, like it was a plate over the chest or some kind of cover, but it's not. That's the actual chest. I know that's a dumb thing to say because past that first impression, it's like it's a plastic chest sculpted to look like a human being. It's got pecs and then covers and then some seam lines and some textures, but you know what I mean. I just like how that pops. That color also comes back down here at the belt, just to match things up. Oh, and you know what? While I'm looking here, there's some silver coming out and little triangles of red on the front. There's that darker green pinstriping coming down, some more seams and texture at the top of the legs, some crisscross. You know what? This is reminding me of G.I. Joe Classified series. This is very Duke. Then we see that light metallic green again for the knee pads, the shin guards laying over a black boot. Well, at least a black cover for the boot until you get to the brown down here that matches the pants and the gloves, and there's a little more red. It's very color coordinated head to toe. And if you'd listed out the colors black, tannish brown, dark green, very light green, yellow, red, and am I seeing anything else here? No, I think that's about it. I would have said, no, those don't go together, but they do. Here's proof right here. In the package, he has the Wings In backpack on, and I guess Red Wing here on the back. Is it still called Red Wing with Falcon? Or does Captain America have Red Wing and this is a different? Again, I watch the movie next month. But there's your silvers, your greens, your reds, your blacks, just the whole color scheme right there. Oh, got those metallic elbow pads too. But it's not just the colors, the proportions are nice. They're very realistic. It's very dude in jumpsuit or flight suit. Seems like the shoulders slope a bit more than they should. Like the arms should square up or come up a bit something. That's the only thing that I'm finding off. Otherwise, it's a very neutral stance. His arms are down, his legs are straight. Yeah, it looks good. Although the more I look, the more I could probably argue that it is busy. Very, very busy. But at the same time, that's also most MCU uniforms. Can't have no plain spandex in the movies. Going over articulation is gonna bring us to another gripe point because there is there's a ball with a hinge at the top. But because of the extra sculpt on the back of the helmet, this tank, or whatever it is, he can't look up near as much as I want him to. He's a flying character, should be able to look straight. As he's flying like this, he's just looking down. Then coming forward, the helmet juts down a bit at the chin, And there's also this armor plate piece that sticks up. So down goes to about right there. Not a lot of tilt because there's no hollow. Again, very narrow helmet. It's all in the helmet sculpt. Not that I hate the shape or anything. I feel like this is accurate, but it really kills it in the action figure department. Doesn't hurt side to side though. Pin at the shoulder comes out, rotates all the way around with a hinge that goes up to here. And that's probably the reason for the shoulder slope, isn't it? So this armor pad will go up into the body. Swivel at the bicep, incorporated into that band that goes around. So it's kind of hidden. Double elbow goes up to there. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge that goes in and a little out. The sculpt of the armor. Hinge at the abs that runs along the costume line so it doesn't jump out at you, but does allow for this much crunch and this much arc back. I forgot to mention the belt is an overlay hiding a waist cut that swivels. Ball at the hip allows the leg to kick here and back and out. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee goes most of the way. Hinge at the ankle goes way back, goes forward. I hate to say it again, but armor plate gets in the way, doesn't go forward more than that. And then front facing pin for rocker. For accessories out of the package, Falcon has 2 fists, and you can swap those out for another pair of tense clawed-like hands. I would have liked to seen, well, he doesn't come with guns, but trigger finger hands, some kind of grip hands, especially since the wings have grips on them. Head pops off, and there's an alternate head that is half unmasked. Again with the Vulture vibes, but I like this head better. A bit more skin showing. It's a bit more relatable. I'm sure this is like high altitude or high speed, but I'm okay with him kind of just cruising through the clouds or hovering somewhere. Comes with, I'm gonna call it Red Wing because that just feels right. I like this, but there's no way to like make it hover or fly or anything. It's just kind of there. And then there's the wings and another backpack that has pegs to hold those wings. Some nice detail sculpted in, some kibble to break up the flat plane. And then again, there's the handle, very soft, and that's what I'm gonna call the front of the wings, so I'm guessing it plugs this way. You can see the gears in there and the detents, so it pops up and down and it stays in position. Snap, 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 snap. The first time I tried to plug it on, it popped back at me a little bit, but I pushed a little harder and the plastic there seemed to conform down over the peg. Now that I have it on there, it seems fairly stable. The backpack is kind of off the back and it pinches the wings in between. I guess an extra layer of hold-on ability. Not a bad wing spread at all. And like I showed, it does rotate on those pegs so you can bring the wings, hell, you can bring them straight up. And that's about as far down as they'll go. Then there's hinges here and here. So the wing folds down this way, then you can bring it in. Get kind of a neutral position or some kind of shielded thing going on. It's a good thing those grips are rubbery because, well, one, there's not grippy hands. So you just got to kind of use these clawed hands. Hell, if I remember right, when Sam was in the Falcon uniform, most of the time he was shooting or punching or doing stuff. Every now and then he'd grab these, but I'm just going to call it some kind of modern MCU technology that he can just control the wings mentally. Kind of narrow the more I mess around with them, especially if you have them straight out. They just seem kind of thin. But hey, if there's lift and propulsion, I guess it works. And then finally, there's of course Captain America. And out of the package, the figure is making me like this costume even more. Again, I really like the white just because of how much it spruces the uniform up, but this just feels Captain America-ish. It still has those Falcon notes, or Sam notes, I guess. Down here at the legs, it has this armored shin guard look. It streamlines it a bit, while still bringing in the red down here, along with some silver, which ties it to the rest of the costume. I don't think I like the black down here at the bottom of the red, though. It makes it look like Crocs. And the shape and this strap or this red opening here doesn't help either, but it does tie it up to the gloves, which are black around the fingers with some red up on top of it. So same aesthetic, same design, just but the silver bracers with some red stripes on it. Have some bits of gray kicking into the blues here at the thigh and up on the bicep and on the chest. Speaking of those blues, again, it's a mix of textures, but it's more subtle. But then it's also unmistakably Captain America. You have the star on the chest with the stripes, the red and white stripes at the abs, going out to some stripes on the shoulders. He has his sleeve pulled up because he's going to work. He takes this seriously. And then up at the head, I'm going to say this likeness is pretty good. Now, granted, there are goggles on, but Hasbro did a good job of making those translucent. You could see the eyes down in there, enough to make you think, oh, well, that's Anthony Mackie. Much improved over the last Captain America I got, where the lenses were kind of frosted. You could still see the eyes under there, but not near as good as here. Another thing I like about the new costume is that it doesn't have that Batman look to it. I think in Falcon and Winter Soldier, or Captain America and Bucky, it looked very stiff around the neck, the way the costume came up all the way to his forehead. This looks much more comfortable. He can back out of a driveway. While I have this figure out though, there are a few shared parts. The belt is the same between both figures. They've just added some silver for the new one. And then the knee pads and the lower legs and the feet are reused. Same straps, same sculpt, same everything, just different colors. Paints are a lot cleaner this time around though. If I remember right, yeah, there was some mushiness to the whites. It's Marvel Legends, it's factory paint. There are some off bits here and there, but for the most part, it looks good. It looks clean. I like the overall feel of it. Again, the shoulders could come up a little bit, but I don't know if they're put there because of articulation to keep it out of the neck joint, but what do we got up here? Oh, it's another ball with a hinge under it. Maybe they did that thinking it's better for flyers, but then the heads are sculpted down around the neck too much. So it kills tilt and then up. And then the stripes come in further than the previous costume, so the ab hinge isn't as hidden. But this straight line running up at an angle between the blues and the reds and whites also killed the possibility of a dumbbell joint being in there. It would have cut through that design too. Yeah, either or. While we're speaking articulation, again, I just showed it's a ball with a hinge underneath. Can look up about that much and down not so much. No tilt whatsoever. The old left and right though. Pin coming out to the shoulder rotates around with a hinge that goes up to about right there. Swivel at the bicep. Double elbow comes up most of the way. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Crunchticles go this far, back that far. Again, the belt is an overlay that hides a cut at the waist for rotation. Ball at the hip kicks up, whoa, nicely. Goes back, not bad. Goes out, pretty good. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee, yeah, that far. Hinge at the ankle, goes all the way back. Goes forward, not bad. Then front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories, comes with 2 fists, which can be swapped out for a relaxed right hand and a splayed-out left hand. And now that I put those on, I think those are shared between the 2 figures too. Same sculpt, different paint job. It has an optional fully helmeted head, and again, I think this is for high altitude, high speed. Very Captain America, you got the wings out here on the side and then almost an A on the forehead. And the eyes are painted behind that visor. Bit of asymmetry going on with this hose running around on the side, which I'm guessing feeds Sam oxygen in the upper atmosphere or something like that. While I like that, it does make him very trooperish. I like that we can see Sam's face with this other head. This is my preference. I like that look. But I've always made the joke of flying at high speeds, having your full head exposed. So this makes total sense. I do believe this is Red Wing. This looks more familiar. Maybe Joaquin names his something different, but there you have the shape, the nice sculpt, the silver, the red, the blue, and hey, a peg hole. Not that it comes with a stand, but you can steal head pulls, and that peg hole fits on that peg. But then what's head pull supposed to do? Captain America's got to have his shield, and it is the new design with the indentations inside the star and these rectangles on this ring. We did see that with the previous Captain America, which was in brighter colors. Now that I look at it side by side though, that's almost orangey. But they did change up the inner shield setup. But last time it was these straps, which I really like. You just slide it on, put a grip on there, he's holding it. This is okay. I understand why they went this way because of the peg, so it'll go into the backpack. But this clip, well, it didn't break. It just popped out of there like it wasn't glued correctly. And glue this back into place while trying to keep it out of that hinge joint. But I do not trust these clips. I haven't had a lot of them break, but I've had a lot stress in places. Plugs into the back, easy peasy. Okay. That snaps very hard around the gauntlet. I like the strap setup on the old one, but I like the colors of the new one way better. Then we get into the wing packs. Like Falcon, there's one that you can just plug onto the back. that looks part of the costume, and it's meant for the wings to be inside. There's also a hole on the back of it to put the shield on. But then again, like Falcon, there is another backpack with pegs on the inside, and there's of course wings, but Sam's are much more elaborate than Joaquin's. I don't think there's any markings, but this hinge is open on this side, and this hinge is open on this side. The red and silvers go together, so yeah, I'm putting this here. By default means this one goes here. Okay, I wasn't sure which wing went on which side, so I just kind of pushed this one on, and I guess it goes that way because now that I have it on there, I guess I can get it off. It holds tighter than Falcon's. That on, and there's a nice snap to it. Again, there's gears to hold it in position, up and down. Whoa, Captain America's wings are a little more substantial. He's got a couple of inches wing spread on Falcon, and then they're wider. But that makes a hell of a pair swooping down out of the sky. Has even more on the old Captain America wings, along with them being much stronger. These have gotten kind of floppy. The old ones had a hinge here and here, just like Falcon from this wave, but the new Captain America has a hinge here, here, and here. So at the pivot point can go straight up and then down about that far, and then bend, 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 so he can do the shield thing. Okay, I will admit the clip does work pretty good on the forearms. Damn tough looking. Size-wise, Captain America stands at about 6 1/4 inches tall, while Falcon stands at about 6 3/16. And then Red Hulk stands at about 8 5/8. Again, here's Red Hulk with the Build-A-Figure in-game Hulk. Does have some height on him, does have some bulk. But this is how I display my Hulk anyway, so it's not gonna be really apparent. This is a suit I got off eBay a long time ago. Here's the previous Captain America, or the previous Captain America I have, and then a more recent Bucky. Marvel Legends Infinity Ward Steve Rogers with a custom casting cave head, and then Black Widow. I think this figure was always kind of big, wasn't it? A little blocky. Then for wingspan, Falcon is about 14 1/4, and Captain America is about 16 1/2. So at the end of the day, a very nice addition to my MCU shelf. Not the greatest of action figures in the literal sense, because there could be butterflies, there could be more range of movement in places, but I think they have to pull back on that a little bit for the live action costumes and uniforms and likenesses and the way things bunch around and wrinkles and seam lines and gear and armor plates, that kind of thing. It's not like a comic book superhero body where they can just cut the hell out of it and then reuse that body over and over and over. Some of these designs only get one shot. So I think that limits the budget a bit. Oh, he's making excuses for big companies again. No, it's just, I don't know, just common sense, logically thinking about it. You know what I mean? I'm happy with what I got. Enough that if SH Figuarts or Mafex eventually comes out with their own versions of these characters, well, I say that, man, the Harrison Ford likeness could be a lot better. So if Figuarts or Mafex does come along and give us a Red Hulk that has a Harrison Ford likeness to the head, then I may jump on that. But as far as Falcon and Captain America goes, I'm pretty happy with these. But I can say that because I paid for these today. So I'm like, nope, don't need to spend any more money on this movie. But then I'll watch the movie, and then depending on how much I like that, that'll, I don't know. We'll see. At the moment, I'm pretty dang happy. And yes, I am leaving that on Red Hulk for the time being because I just like it too much. It was fun. And like I always say, that's all that really matters.